PowerTrip podcast. We your hosts,
Charmaine
and Saquon.
Welcome, everybody.
What's up?
Episode 5. Let's get straight to it, huh?
All right, so let's jump into R. Kelly.
Okay, so our topic is inspired by R. Kelly, but we want to talk about, do you support an artist, an entertainer, anybody for that matter, after you find out that there's either allegations or it's been proven that they did something against your morals or that were just morally wrong?
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
What do you think about it?
So, with the case, if people don't know, with R. Kelly, it was alleged that he, is intimate with minors. Mm-hmm. And more recently, like in the last few years, it came out that he possibly allegedly has people hostage or in a dungeon or something like that. Mm-hmm. He, just probably last week maybe, he came out with a song, I Admit. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, it was a 19-minute song just saying, I admit. Of course, he didn't technically admit to messing with minors, but he said like he admits that he slept with girls younger and older, and people want to call him a pedophile for having girlfriends. So, that's what he said. But to me, I think that if someone did something that I didn't agree with, or, especially on that level, I wouldn't have a problem not supporting them. But in my head, it's not like I'm actively removing his music. Like with R. Kelly's music, I haven't really heard his music in a long time, just because, it's older music and it's just not in my playlist. But I do believe that you should take away some support from these artists, because if you don't, then, a lot of times there's an allegation or something and an artist or entertainer can just pay off the person who's making these allegations against them, and then it goes away. Yeah. And then they just continue to think it's okay to keep going out there and doing it because guess what? Money talks. And they feel like everyone has, like you were saying, everyone has a number. So I do believe that if people stayed firm and didn't support things that are not right, then it would hurt their pockets. And eventually, and people are who they are. So whatever they're doing in the dark, they may continue to do in the dark. But it may be a wake-up call for them to say, okay, well, if this is my dream of being an entertainer and living this lifestyle, I have to change. Otherwise, Yeah. But, yeah, that's how I feel. What do you think?
As far as supporting them, when I think of support, I think of paying, like giving them money.
Right.
Like monetary gain, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want to do that. I do get caught up a little bit because, let's say R. Kelly, for instance, I have a playlist on Tidal that is probably hundreds of songs, right? Mm-hmm. And it's really just song. As I hear songs, sometimes I just add to it.
Right.
So he's in there somewhere a few times. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, just the other day, the song with him and Ja Rule came up. Mm-hmm. And I actually had to turn it. Mm. I had to turn it. It was Ja Rule's song, but he was on it. And I had to turn it because my thing is I'm more so of a person like I don't want to pay you, but I'll still listen to the music. Mm-hmm. But I'll take the music out too if I can't think about the music.
Right. So if you think about the allegations while you're listening to the music, you can't listen to that song.
No.
Gotcha.
No, it has to go because obviously the allegations are way more powerful than the message or whatever this song is about.
Right. And that's the thing too. It's like you do have to separate the artist from the art, because like R. Kelly, I will say musically he's very talented and he made a lot of great songs. I Believe I Can Fly, Step in the Name of Love, things like that are feel good, that are not negative. Yeah. But it's like it's still him and it's still his energy going through that music. So you can still feel uneasy once you know. Yeah. And that's another tough thing too, because it's like now that we know, because before everyone had no issue listening to the music before they knew the allegations. But then it's like, now that you know, it changes your mind. And I know when you know better, you do better. It's just like, though, there may be people you support and listen to now who have done, more heinous things, and it's just, you don't know, so you continue to enjoy their music or their whatever art they produce. Yeah.
I mean, the hard part is that with R. Kelly, I think people knew already. I mean, it wasn't, a lot of it wasn't hidden. Right. I mean, he had the cases. We knew about the Aaliyah thing. And I mean, I know we talked about it, and I don't think you agree with me, but I feel like he had to agree to a certain extent when they put that movie out about her.
The Aaliyah movie?
Yeah. And I mean, he didn't sue them or nothing for defamation or nothing.
I don't think he agreed, because her family didn't even agree for the movie to go out.
Really?
Yeah, it was a big ordeal with that. Her family or her estate didn't agree for the movie to go out, and Zendaya was originally going to play the part of Aaliyah. Kai, relax. Zendaya was originally going to play the part of Aaliyah, but because the family felt like the Lifetime Movie Network didn't go out and ask them for stories or involve them in it, they didn't support the movie. So a lot of people did not support that movie. Yeah, so that's the only reason I think they didn't ask his permission, or he wasn't in support of the movie. Yeah, but okay. So then, to piggyback off of whether you support them or not, do you wait until the allegation, like, okay, so let's say someone makes an allegation against an artist, do you wait until an investigation is done, or do you just stop supporting as soon as allegation is said?
Like I said, when this allegation is if I can't think past the allegations to just listen to music, then I'll stop there. But for the most part, I do try to wait. I try to wait it out to see, what's it about. Or sometimes I don't really I don't need any judgment sometimes, because I don't, I listen to some stories and I'm like, all right, it's some truth in here.
Right. Because, for example, if there's an allegation, for example, with the Bill Cosby case, how so many women came out and said something, in that case, it's kind of there has to be some truth to it. It may not have been all those women who are being honest, but there has to be some truth when it's that number of women. And even other entertainers or producers and stuff that have a host of women who say it, it's kind of there must be some type of truth to it. Yeah. Even, though an investigation, I think Bill Cosby, an investigation is, was done and everything, but for other entertainers who investigations haven't been done yet, it's kind of there still has to be some truth. So it's just fall back. And I don't think it's that big of a deal to me. I'm not gonna miss not hearing R. Kelly's music. I haven't listened to it in how long, so it doesn't really, stay on my mind. Watching the Cosbys, that's nothing that I'm gonna miss. There's other shows out there that show positive Black families, and there's other great music that that we can listen to. So
I know for me, it's only one thing that I guess kind of got me within the last year was the Fab incident. I honestly don't know what to really make of that. He didn't get in trouble for it. I've been seeing them post pictures. So
for those of you who don't know, there was an Instagram that was put out, and it was Fabulous and his girlfriend Emily arguing, and her dad was there and her brother was there, and Fab threatened the dad, and then it was alleged that they got in an argument and he knocked her teeth out. But there was no evidence. There was just a video of them arguing, but there was no evidence that he's ever hit her, that she lost her teeth. There was no police report that I know of that stated that information either. And
I think they did say it was a police report.
But that maybe said about the argument, or that she was fearful. But I don't think it said something about.
I think they said about the teeth.
Well, I didn't see that, so I can't speak on it.
I think, but
yeah, we don't know for sure. But that was just alleged, so we don't really know, and nobody came out. Neither parties, Emily or Fabulous, came out and said this is true. So that one is like you really don't know.
Yeah.
And they were back together less than a week after, and not to say that in any situation a battered woman wouldn't go back to that person, especially if they've been together since they were teenagers and all that. So it's not to say that that's not true, but we honestly, in that case, it's like you don't know.
Well, who is to say that he's not trying to do better for himself, and we shouldn't knock him out?
Well, yeah, people could try to do better for themselves. I get that, but it's just, I don't know. Yeah, that's a little extreme if you're knocking teeth out. Like, yeah, that's a bit much.
So, what do you think about companies dealing with entertainers? Do you think that companies should withdraw before an investigation or after?
I think companies should put things on a halt until an investigation is done.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think companies should just let somebody go just because allegations are made, even though I do get the business aspect of it. What do you think?
I agree. I fully agree with you. Put everything on a halt. Like literally everything.
Right. No,
you're not on my website. Yeah. Any billboard we had of you is coming down. We're not giving you no more money.
Right. Things are truly on a pause.
Yeah. If I had a shipment coming to you and I could call them and tell them to stop it, I'd do that. So that's what I do believe. Because I think they have every right to back away from anybody that's doing something that isn't against their morals.
Yeah.
Just like we could do as people, I think they have the right to do that. And
that's
of
true.
Course it's going to affect their pockets. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah, that is true.
So
that is very true.
I think they do have that right to do that. I just think that sometimes also when they do it, they should say something following it, but still not supporting the artist, but letting the people know that we're waiting until further investigation. Because what I don't like is when companies just jump on board with the wave
with the consumers.
Yeah, because just like in the regular world, only because this side won don't mean that they're right.
Exactly. That's very true.
It doesn't mean that they're right. I mean, as we talked about in the last podcast, society be pushing some weird shit now. Excuse my language. They push some weird things, and they kind of enable. They enable immature behavior in certain ways. So,
yeah, I do. I agree. I think you shouldn't. I understand it because consumers are so powerful. We as consumers are so powerful with our dollars. So if the consumer, even before the investigation is done, believes that person is guilty and see that you still support them or still have them, as like you're still endorsing them, then they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to support you. And it is going to be like a wave, like you said, where everybody is going to, start hashtagging don't support so-and-so because, whatever. So I agree, but I do feel like they should just put things to a halt and wait till an investigation is being, completed.
Yeah. And this is so off topic, and I know we kind of got to go into the next topic, but I just want to throw it in there. Yesterday we had a customer come inside the office, and he was acting like, what's a good word?
I don't know what he was acting like, so I don't know what a good word.
I want to say a-hole. Like, he was like, I don't know. It was just crazy. And when everybody walked in the office, he started yelling and doing a whole bunch.
Why?
It just... Well, his thing was that he's telling us someone was going to pay for something, but we can't accept that. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
so he
thought somebody else was going to pay for something and take responsibility for something. But if you're taking this vehicle, this is your responsibility. You understand what I'm saying?
So he wanted to use someone else's car?
No, basically insurance. insurance. He wanted the insurance to pay for the insurance, and if anything happened to the rental, insurance would take care of it. But that's not typical, and we can't say.
I thought if you have insurance, you can choose to use your insurance to cover the vehicle. So if anything does happen,
yeah. And he said, well, he had got into an accident, and Progressive was the other person's insurance. Mm-hmm. And he said nothing's going on his insurance. Oh,
so the other person was at fault, and he was he was saying that their insurance would cover.
Yeah.
Why can't that happen? Because if it was I'm granted, I know he rented a car, but
in the case of the rental, that's your responsibility.
So he has to pay and then get the money back from the insurance.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to handle all of that yourself. But anyway, long story short, we were just trying to explain that to him, right? And you know, he keeps saying, well, when I sign that paper, I'm just going to write that Progressive doing this. And we like, that's not going to, you know, we just letting you know that, oh, that's cool. If you do that, you could do that. But that's not going to do anything for us. If you wreck this vehicle, it's still going to be your responsibility. Man, this man starts yelling and all of this extraness. It was just ridiculous.
I could, well, not yelling and acting a fool, but I could understand being upset because if it wasn't my fault, the accident wasn't my fault, then I wouldn't want my insurance getting involved. I wouldn't, you know, like if the other person is claiming fault and their insurance is willing to pay for the vehicle, I would think that it would be their insurance that we could go through because what's the difference between going through their insurance and my insurance?
Yeah, but I get that, but don't take that up with me.
No, right. Don't act like you guys are the issue and you're just following policy.
Yeah, don't take that up with me. I'm just doing my job. I mean, it wasn't me, but it was actually someone else. But it's like, we just here doing our jobs.
Yeah, you know? That is a frustrating thing is when customers, consumers, patients, or somebody gets mad at you for doing your job. Like, it's like you're mad at the messenger.
Yeah, and he was just acting a fool, and it was so funny. As he leaves, right, we all, it's probably like 5 of us, we just looking at him, right? As he's leaving, he turns around, he says, why y'all just looking at me like that?
Wow. So you just acted a fool in here. What do you mean? Well,
it was just hilarious. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Friends, Manny.
Okay. What about him?
You're not going to hit him with the jingle?
Oh. No, I can't. It's not in me right now.
Alright, anyway. Man, he had to start cutting grass. But anyway, how do we look at friends? What do you value a friendship?
I do value my friendships.
Do you feel like you need or want friendships?
I don't feel like I need friendships. I don't really even feel like I necessarily, like, because I don't want to say I don't want friendships, but I don't actively go out and try to find friends because I want friends, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like I appreciate the people that I have in my life as friends, but I'm content with just my family and, you know, being happy and full with my family. So it's kind of like the friends are just an added bonus to that. And I do have friends that I've had, you know, since childhood who, like, I'll go and support. They'll come support me because we don't live in the same state anymore. I do have friends out here. Most of my friends, though, don't live in the state. But I'm grateful for my friends. I will say that. But I don't feel like I need friends. Like, I don't feel like I'll be empty without friends. But I do also realize that, like, having friends is just like a different dynamic. It's a different relationship than it is with your family. Like, you can have your girls' night out. You can do different things. They're from different upbringings than you, so you can kind of learn things from them as well, confide in them, and, you know. So I think there's a benefit to having friends, especially, you know, true friends, loyal friends. But I don't think I need them necessarily.
Okay.
What about you?
You know me. I'm more of a solo type of guy. I don't need friends at all. When I do kind of have close friends for the moments, I guess, I do not even just close friends for the moment. You know, even when I still get to talk to some of my friends and things like that here and there, I do appreciate the other dynamic that they bring into my life because I'm a person already that doesn't like routine and doesn't like the same thing. So it's always cool for me to step out a little bit, and also it's giving me a different experience on life, and helps me mold different things and give me different perspectives. You know, it's cool. Of course, I'm content with my family and things like that. And I honestly feel like I grew up always content with my family. I think I got to a point where I just was always around my family, and then I just wanted to go out and see what's up for a little bit, and now I'm back with my family, if that makes sense. Because I think I stopped for maybe like 5 years.
Stopped what?
Really kind of being close with my family.
Oh.
Due to just me being on my own journey, though.
Yeah, right.
And it was more so just being around friends. But like I said, so I appreciate the things that they bring, what a friend can bring into my life. But I don't need them. I don't need them. I don't. You know, when I go throughout my day, it ain't like I feel like I need somebody right here with me.
Right, yeah. I don't think, same for me. So what would you consider then to be a good friend?
Like what type of qualities and characteristics would they have?
Yeah.
For one, it would be being open and honest. Open to criticism. Open to different. Open to trying new things and not being held back, and just conservative. Yeah, because I like to be adventurous and things like that. That's a word.
Adventurous.
Yeah, it didn't sound right for a minute. But so open like that, and then honest with telling me things. You know, if they see me do something wrong or whatever, be honest. Let me know. You know, if something messed you up or I did something that may have hurt you or whatever. Let me know.
Right.
You know, or let's say, for instance, I'm saying something and you just ain't with it. You know, let me know.
Speak up.
Yeah, speak up. You know, things like that. I appreciate those type of things because it just saves the ruffle for later. Save all that extra tension from
if you could
coming
just
around.
speak up and just say how you feel, rather than walking around upset, expecting someone to read your mind.
Exactly. So that, a big one for me is loyalty. Man, I don't care what my friends do, but I don't like the fakeness. I don't like the going back and forth. I don't like the,
talking behind people's back or anything like that.
Yeah, if you got something to say to me, say it to me. 9 times out of 10, I do the same thing. I'll say it to you before I say it to anybody else. So, yeah. So, am I missing anything? And being ambitious and goal driven, I guess. Just shooting for goals and
bettering
like
themselves.
That. Yeah, bettering themselves. And another one is being somebody that can help people and not sitting around always talking about people and never doing anything good for people. I can't take that either.
Okay, nice. Some good qualities.
Yeah. What about you?
Pretty much the same. I just want someone who is going to be themselves in front of me, and not change up if we go in front of another group of their friends.
Yeah, that too.
And I just want someone who has a good spirit and who is just, like you said, like wants to better themselves, who's a joyous person. For me, it's not like too many qualifications, just like, someone trustworthy and things like that. But it's not a whole bunch of qualifications because, like I said, I don't actively go looking for friends. So it just kind of genuinely happens. And I feel like what you put out is what you get back in. So a lot of the people that I meet and who I've befriended are those type of people.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't really have too many qualifications.
Well, that's cool then.
Yeah.
So, let's say, what do you think about being friends with, like, people that's, like, into things that's not really with your morals? That doesn't align with your morals,
So, for me, it's like half and half on whether I'll be friends with somebody like that or not. Because I have, like I said earlier, some childhood friends that I'm still friends with and when we were younger, of course, we were into the same things. You know, we didn't curse. We were just into the same things. But as you get older, people go into different directions, and I like if they start getting to things that I'm not into morally, and it's not like super like harmful, like, you know, it's not super against my morals all the way. It's just something that I just don't do. I could still be your friend. Mm-hmm. You just know I'm not going to do those activities with you, but we could still be cool. Okay. But if I make friends now, I don't see too much wiggle room on them not being morally in alignment with me or similar morals, you know? Mm-hmm. Just because my friends, even growing up, my friends were around my family. My friends now are around you. And when we have kids in the future, my friends will be around them. So I don't want to bring any type of toxic, negative, not good-hearted energy around the people I care about the most. Yeah. So that's why I feel like if the friends that I make in my adult ages would have to be people of good substance. Okay. What about you?
New people, kind of similar. You know, I'm half and half about it. New people, if I'm peeping things that I don't like already, mm-hmm. I don't even bother with it. Right. We not gonna be friends. Yeah. We're not gonna be friends unless something down the line, I guess, just happened maybe. And
maybe they grew up or changed or something. Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you out of here. Mm-hmm. Now, old friends, I'm kind of mixed on it too, because it's kind of levels to it. Mm-hmm. When you do certain things, if it's way too much to me, I'm gonna say something to you the first time. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get to the sometimes I get to the third chance. Yeah. Sometimes I get to the third chance. You do. But I'm saying something in hopes to not even want to get there. Right. But if I got to get there, then on some heavy things, then you out of here. Yeah. Now, little stuff that I feel like I don't like, mm-hmm. but it's not harmful, mm-hmm. but it's kind of like still like you wilding to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't really kind of want those type of people around me. Mm-hmm. I kind of like, because I know people like to talk to me and stuff like that, mm-hmm. but I kind of still got to tell them about themselves, and I start backing up a little bit. Yeah.
And I think there's levels. Like, you have your friends, and then you have acquaintances, and you have people that when you are out, and mm-hmm. you see them, you guys can have a good time. You guys, in this setting, you guys can have fun. It's just not someone who you invite over to your home or, like you're on the phone with often or texting or doing things like that. So I do think there's levels. Like, you have your close friends and then you have acquaintances.
Exactly. Because, like, you see me, it's not that many people I bring into the crib or nothing like that. Like,
yeah, no. Yeah, you're selective. You're not.
Very selective.
Yeah. You're more selective now. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
Wait. What you thinking about? How far back you thinking?
I think it was last year, 2 years ago. Either last year or 2 years ago, yeah. There were some artists that you didn't really know like that. Yeah, so you weren't...
when they came to the house?
Yeah. So you weren't too screeny with that one. Even though they weren't bad. They weren't...
Wait, who? They came in here?
Yeah. And then, like, hold on, guys. Sorry. I think his friend was waiting outside, or he tried to bring more people in. And then...
Oh, no. I met that dude before. Your brother introduced me to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, your brother introduced me to him. What it was he wanted to bring someone else, and I was like... No, I was like, cool. I was like, for one person, cool. Like, if you want to just... It was for his feature, so I'm like, cool. But while I'm outside, I see 5. Mm-hmm. And I automatically let them know this ain't going down. Right. You know, what's going on? And they got mad. But I'm like, Like
this is your
like
your
we
home.
sitting here talking about. I'm selective, so
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I had the story wrong in my head.
Like it's me and my girl in here. What you think this is?
Yeah, yeah. And this is your home. Like you have to protect the people that you want around in your environment. Yeah. Like I remember we were listening to a podcast not too long ago. It was Oprah Winfrey podcast, and she was interviewing Maya Angelou, and she was saying how she was at a party. It was at Maya Angelou's house, and someone made a homophobic joke. Mm-hmm. And she was like, Maya Angelou was across the room, but somehow she heard it, and she turned off the music. She stopped the party. She was like, she went up to the person who made the joke, and she was like, you need to leave. And she was like, did you come with anybody? Is this your jacket? Like, let's make sure we got all your stuff so you can leave my home. Mm-hmm. And she said she did it because she doesn't want anyone in her home, like, putting that negative energy or toxins in her home. She doesn't want anyone to think that's okay to do in her space. And I think it's important, like, where you go home to should be a place of peace. Like, that should be like your sanctuary where you know, everything is okay. And you should not have anything in there that's going to disrupt that peace.
True.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I think that's cool too. Mm-hmm. Well, all right. So I guess that's kind of like a wrongdoing, right? So let's say, what if one of your friends do something wrong? Could you forgive them? Could you could you forgive them and, you know, be friends after?
So I think it depends on the level that they did me wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, if someone stole money from me, I would be really upset. I'm a giving person, and 9 times out of 10, I would have said yes if they would have just asked me. So the fact that they felt like they couldn't ask me and they just had to take the money, for one, it just lets me know, like, how they view our friendship. And two, it's just like you broke that trust. Because now I have to watch my purse around you, you know? So I may be able to forgive them, but our friendship won't be the same again. Like, it's just, you know, we won't be as close as we were. It just, you can't, because it's like, it's damaged. Just like if you drop a vase and then you glue it back together. Yeah, it's still whole, but you see the imperfections within it. Like, it's not the same anymore. Yeah. So, yeah. What about you?
I'm a grudge holder.
Yeah.
I'll just be real about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm a grudge holder because, for the most part, like I'm sitting here saying, all of the qualities that I would like in a friend, I think I'm not. Right. And sometime I may not be. You know, at my young ages. I mean, I'm still young, but
younger.
My younger days, I was, you know, maybe not the person that I would want to be now.
Right, but that's why you grow, and that's good. It's good that you can look back and see that how much you've grown. Yeah, you didn't stay stagnant. You didn't stay the same.
Exactly, but you know, now I wasn't a grudge holder back then. Actually, back then when I was doing those things, I guess it was just.
Well,
if
you
I'm
knew
doing
you
it, if I'm doing it, then whatever. So I wasn't really a grudge holder back then, but now it's like, yo, if I'm doing right, you know, I don't expect you to do wrong about me, but maybe it's karma,
right? Coming back around,
yeah. So I had to go through that. It was my time,
yeah.
But yeah, you know, I don't.
So you think you could forgive somebody then, or not?
Yeah, certain people, yeah, like. Let's say like the one that missed my show, right?
A friend that missed one of his shows that he was supposed to be at.
Yeah. I could forgive, you know, I could forgive because due to his situation, like, and I'm not talking about that situation, but due to the things that's going on with his life right now, I could forgive at some point, you know what I'm saying? Because, all right, for one situation, I don't really care. It didn't really affect me. I just felt a way that, you know, I don't like being mentioned behind my back, and it not. Also, you mentioned me negative behind my back, negatively behind my back, and it never came back around. That kind of bothered me because I feel like I could nip it in the bud if I
if it would have been brought up to you.
Exactly. So that kind of bothered me, but at the end of the day, that's so old when I found out that it's kind of like, should I let it really bother me? Because, like, really, it's 2018 and this happened in like 2014, 2013 probably. So I could forgive that part. The other stuff, I kind of can't. I don't know. But then you think about the person themselves, and then you kind of like, you start weighing it out. So I don't know. But there's some people that I probably won't ever, I won't ever forgive or anything like that. But
you won't ever forgive them? Or
I mean, I forgive them, but I can't be friends with them.
Yeah. Because I do think it's important that you forgive anyone who's ever done you wrong for yourself. Not for them, but so that you could be at peace and realize, like, it had nothing to do with you. Yeah. Like, when people do you wrong, like, it's all about them, their flaws, their insecurities, whatever. It has nothing to personally do with you. Granted, you can still be hurt from it, but I think over time you need to learn to forgive and accept that that's the life situation that happened. That's not, that's not who I am, and that's not their true essence. Yeah. It was, a negative aspect of them, but that's not their true essence. So learn to forgive them. And it doesn't mean that you have to bring them back in your life, but just be at peace with moving forward. Yeah,
and I think about one that kind of, bothered me for a while was, my friend for a couple decades, and that went kind of downhill. I guess it took me a while to actually forgive. Usually I kind of get over things a little bit, maybe in a couple days, but a few days, maybe 2 to 3. Yeah. But that one, it kind of took me a while.
Yeah. I mean, but it makes sense. Like, if you were close with someone since the age of 3 until your 20s, like, and then, that friendship doesn't go the way you think it's supposed to, it is going to hurt, but you, and it's not to say that you and that person will never be friends again. It probably will never be the same.
I don't know if I would call it friends.
Okay, we'll be cordial.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it friends. We could be cordial, but you know me, I'm the type of person that says this. If you do certain things to me, right, it's kind of like a little bit of character. And unless I choose to stick with you on your day-to-day life and I get to see you change, I don't, if I don't get to see that, I don't really.
You don't want to invite that back in your life.
No, and especially with certain people like that, like a person like that, I had plans for that person to probably be in my wedding or be the godfather of my child or stuff like that. But, when I see these type of characteristics, I have to think about the fact that that's not what I want, Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, let's move on to the next part.
All right.
The health topic. Take it away, Dr. James.
All right. So our health topic piggybacks off of what we were talking about last week. And it's about taking care of yourself while you're young so that when you get older, you can enjoy the fruits of your loom. Like, so many people work so hard in their youth that when they get older, they're not able to enjoy it. I have patients who, aren't able to travel, aren't able to do simple things like just play golf. And it's because they were like, I work so hard and so that I could have a good retirement, but now their retirement is spent on going to pain specialists and coming, to see me and other doctors. And I think it's just so important that you have a work-life balance. The U.S., we did some research, and the U.S. was rated number 6
on the top 10
in the world. Yeah, for the top 10 worst work-life balance locations you could live. The Netherlands, on the other hand, was number 1. They have the shortest work week. They work 4 days a week, 29 hours, typically a week on average. And they're able to go from full-time to part-time without having to worry about losing their job, which is so important because that takes a big stress off of somebody. If, like, let's say, a family emergency happens, you have to take care of, like, a parent or a sibling or something, and you need to take some time off the job, but you still want part-time hours, you don't have to be fearful that you're going to lose your job. And I think that takes a lot of stress away from a person. Yeah. And it enables them to have that balance. So it's just important. I think that, like, you know, so many people, the goal is always, okay, I need money. And we forget to take care of ourselves. Like, research has also shown that if you work over 55 hours a week, your risk of stroke and heart attack go up. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense to me, because it's like, if you're working over 55 hours a week, then you're going to probably not have time to cook at home. Mm-hmm. You don't have time to work out. You don't have time to really take for yourself. Yeah. So it makes sense to why heart attack and strokes would be increased. Yeah. So I think it's important, even if it's just a few minutes a day. Like, so a tip I can give you is just like, make a schedule of your day and see where you can fit in there just time to either just pray, meditate, just be by yourself, take a hot bath. You know, you can plan a date night, or the Groupons, they have Living Social, they have so many deals where you can try something new or try something fun, get a massage. Like, take time for yourself. Make sure you have healthy options around your house, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and seeds, nuts. Like, make sure that's in reach, so when you get hungry, those are the things that you're grabbing, and not the junk. And then also just make sure you work out, stay active. Like, go for a walk. When you're taking a break, do a few squats or sit-ups or something. Just even the small amount makes a difference. Yeah,
and if you, I look at it like this: if you want to relax too, actually relax. Don't watch TV. Don't be in your phone. Mm-hmm. You know, just relax. Just chill. Like, even if you with someone, you know, relax. Enjoy that person. Because I think about when we had when electricity went out during the storm, we had candles around the house. We didn't have we had our phone, but we had to preserve our batteries.
Both our phones were dying.
Yeah, but all we had was each other. But we went to sleep early. We got the best sleep, you know, ever. Like,
it was amazing. Like, we woke up so refreshed. Like, it was just a good night, just having everything turned off and it just being us.
Yeah. So, man, just really unwind and cut away from a lot of these things that society bringing towards you. Like, it ain't about the money. It's more so about your health. That's you can't get that back.
Exactly.
You could get the money.
That's your greatest wealth, is your health and mind, body, and spirit. So, and it's not to say that we don't, you know, desire to have a larger income and things like that. It's just that we don't have a love for money. We just understand what money allows you to do. But for me, experiences mean more than materialistic things. Yeah. So as long as I can do fun things with my family and be around my loved ones, it's just like, that means more to me than anything. Like, I'm content. Of course, I want to give my family the world. Mm-hmm. And I know in order to do that, I do need a good financial income. Yeah. So I do plan on structuring my life to where I could have a good work-life balance, but still make a good income. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing.
And think about it. Like, if you struggle, like, putting all this time into work just to shorten your lifespan, right? Right. You maybe not shorten your lifespan.
Well, that's not what you're doing, but that's what it does do.
Yeah, but that's kind of harsh saying it's going to shorten your lifespan. But some people
it's real.
No, it's real. But some people may not even be shortening their lifespan. They just may be putting themselves into a position where they cannot enjoy the fruits of their labor. Like, you trying to say, oh, you trying to make your kids happy, right? Well, guess what? You know, some people, by the time they 50, 60 years old, you know, their kids probably 25, 30 years old. You really can't enjoy the time with your family. You get what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Like, even while you're working, it's like you're working so hard to provide financially, you can't even.
You're not doing it while you're working other time.
Or after. Yeah, exactly. And it's like so much time's gonna pass you by, and it's like, man, when you're you know, on your deathbed, it's like, what really matters? Yeah. Was it the money? Was it, you know, that working like that? Or was it the times that you got to cherish with your family and friends?
And you know, one thing that really kind of made me figure that one out was vacations. Mm-hmm. Because I think about vacations now. I don't want to be like, oh, you remember that one vacation that one time we went here last year? Mm-hmm. Why we always got to think about last year? Mm-hmm. It should be more refreshed. Like, you should be more in a space to say we do things a lot. Like, we really have good times a lot. Like, you know,
and it
we
doesn't
spend
always
a lot
have
of time.
to be, you know, a huge financial, because you know, vacations that does cost money. No, but there's deals. There's, you know, you can do like Airbnbs to save money, and you know, there's different ways to get around it. But also just like having a picnic or something, or a backyard barbecue with your family, just simple things like that, you know, will mean a lot in the future.
Yeah, or just even this, everybody coming together for dinner for a night. Like,
yeah, just simple things.
Yeah, having, some families want to have their little drinks and all of that stuff. Fun. Really, like, you know, I never really thought the game night was fun until we started kind of having game nights. Mm-hmm. But game night is really fun. It really opened up like a lot of conversation. Yeah, take people out their phones.
Yeah, that's a big thing. If just take technology breaks.
Because for the most part, with your family, you get really into it. Mm-hmm. So you don't really care about the phone after that. Yeah. Everybody's comfortable to just
have fun. Loose. Yeah. So that is the health tip of the week. Make sure you guys are taking care of yourself. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Make sure that you are drinking enough water, getting enough sleep. And it's not to say that we're just saying it like it's just super easy. Like, we understand there's single moms with multiple kids that they have to take care of, or people taking care of other family members, and they're the breadwinners, and you know, there's times where people struggle. We definitely understand right now, that.
And I gotta go to work in 10 minutes. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, so we understand that. It's just saying that in spite of all that, you can still squeeze out 5 minutes for yourself a day. Just start small so that you can build it up. But you have to take care of you. Okay? So, now, let's go to the power trip of the week.
We gotta run through it. Come on. Chop.
You better calm your nerves. Anyway, see, he's power tripping now. And that's exactly who the power trip is about, is him.
It's about me. It's about me. I was tripping.
Yes, you were. So basically, this past weekend, my family came down to my office because I wanted to do some stuff for them, and so Saquon, he came with Kai, and they were just gonna sit and wait for me in the car. I told him to go to the park actually, but wait for me for an hour, just until I was done with them. So 30 minutes passed, and I go out and I bring him some water, and I didn't look at the time. He clearly looked at the time, but I bring him some water. I'm like, well, if you want to come in, babe, you can get, get in the AC in here. Just go in the back room, because I really didn't want Kai in my office, So, then he texts me after I I give him the water, and he's like, I'm going home. So I'm like, all right, no biggie. He wants to go home, relax, play the game, no sweat off my back. So then I text him, and I'm telling him, like, okay, we're finishing up, and, you can come. So I could just sense through the text. He was tootish. Then when he gets there, then after we're done and we're outside waiting for him, I'm just calling just to see where he is. See your location. Send me your location. And he says, like, he's pulling up. So cool beans. Then I get in the car, and yep, it's the Grinch Who Stole Christmas sitting right next to me. Just stink as can be. So I'm trying to lighten the mood a little. I'm like, oh, babe, mommy said she's going to give us some money to go to dinner as a thank you. And then I'm like, well, I don't really know what you did, though, to deserve any dinner. And boy, that set that teapot over.
I mean, does that even really sound like lighten the mood?
It was anyway. A jokey joke. Yeah. Well, so he felt some type. Well, actually, let me let you talk for yourself. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I felt some type of way that it just seemed as if it was like
being inconsiderate.
Yeah, it was inconsiderate to me.
Because okay, so a little more facts. I didn't realize the time, and he did look at the time and seen that 30 minutes passed already, and we didn't even really start what we needed to start at that time, and he knew how long it would take. And the whole visit did end up taking like 2 hours. So he would have been sitting there for 2 hours. And at that time, I probably would have said something after the hour mark. But he felt like I should have said something at the 30-minute mark.
She would have told me something at the hour mark. Oh, just go head home. And then I would have went home. And then she would have called me in 20 minutes when I got home.
And like, come on back.
Exactly. So I'm like, you know, it was just a little bit inconsiderate. Like, I understood that you weren't being inconsiderate. But for me, you know, because I did say it was like the bare minimum.
Okay, yeah. So he had the nerve to say that me bringing him water, telling him to come inside and stuff was like the bare minimum of appreciation that I could show him. And to me, I'm like, that is, first of all, not true. Because I think the biggest thing too is like, and we're going to talk about this in a later episode after we read the book, The 5 Love Languages, which basically discusses, you know, everyone has different love languages, whether it's physical touch, words of affirmation, giving, and, you know, others. But in relationships, we tend to expect the partner to do what we want them, like, not what we want them to do, but what we would do in that situation. So we treat people how we want to be treated.
And that's exactly where it came from.
Yeah. So for me, I don't mind sitting there waiting for him. Like, I get, like, okay, sitting there for 2 hours with Kai in the car doing nothing is, you know, boring. And I get how it's inconsiderate that I didn't look at the time and say, okay, babe, well, it's going to be longer than I originally expected, so just go home, relax, and then I'll let you know when you can come pick me up. I get that. And so I kind of was power tripping myself, but I also feel like I was in a place to where it's like, well, if he would have just brought me water, told me I could come in or something like that, like, I'd be content. I wouldn't have been mad. But for him, it's more like, well, if it was me, I would have been told you to go home because I wouldn't want you out there waiting for me. Yeah. So I think it was that. And once we got through it, like, we were able to see that.
And I'm not sorry for cutting you off. Mm-hmm. And she know I don't like being in the sun.
Yeah, so, like, I told him to go to the park with Kai. I would go to the park, walk around for an hour, let Kai play. Mr. over here, he'll go out there for 5-15 minutes with
and
Kai.
I gave the boy 25 already. So anyway, I'm just kind of like,
so he'll do that and then be like, okay, Kai, let's go, it's hot. So I guess it's just like knowing your partner, knowing our differences, and then, you know, just meeting each other in the middle with that. Yeah. So, yeah, we were both, I guess, were power trippers. Yeah. Because I was really looking at it like, you should be fine. Like, what you complaining for? Yeah. I don't see why you got a tube. I'm doing all the work here. You drove me. But, you know. So, we both were guilty. But I think that about wraps everything up. I really want to hear your guys' opinion on everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything. Let us know about how y'all feel about supporting artists, you know, after you hear about certain allegations that doesn't align with your
do you still listen to them? Do you still support them?
Will you buy an album, you know?
Let us know. Let us know about friendships. How do you value your friendships? And, you know, are you able to forgive people who have done you wrong? Because I know there's other grudge holders out there, like my baby. Yeah. And then also, just let us know how you take time out for yourself. Or if you've been in a situation where you're struggling and you can't find time for yourself. Yeah. Then maybe we can give you some tips.
Or let us know what's the perfect work-life balance for you.
What's your ideal? Yeah.
Yeah, what's your ideal? How many
work-life
days
balance? Yeah. Because go ahead.
How much money do you feel like you need to make to attain satisfaction?
Right, yeah, to be satisfied. So let us know, because a lot of people feel like they have to work in the structure that was kind of pre-made by society. Exactly. And that's not true. So let us know. And you can follow us on SoundCloud, YouTube. We're on Google Play Music. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on TuneIn. We're on not everything, but we're on a lot of things. So follow us at the PowerTrip podcast. And then you can also email us any suggestions that you want to hear from us, any personal things that you may not want to just put publicly, but you want us to discuss on the podcast. You can email us at thepowertrippodcast@gmail.com, and make sure you follow us on Instagram.
Yes, and please share with your friends. Send it through text, Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be. Please just share this podcast or any other podcast that you guys like. Share it with your friends.
Yeah.
And by the way, before we go, I really hope that the mowing outside didn't annoy you guys and it just sounded like a Saturday morning. Like
yeah, hopefully it wasn't too loud and picked up by the speaker.
Yeah.
But we hope you guys have a blessed and beautiful day and week. And until next time, or weekend, depends when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next time, guys.
Deuces.
Later.